Upbeat, quirky music starts and fades to background. Hey there, fellow cat servants. Let's talk about that look. You know the one. Your cat is perched majestically on the windowsill, staring into the middle distance. A bird flies by, a leaf tumbles, and you, holding your cup of coffee, feel a little stab in your heart. You think, oh, my poor sweet baby, he's so lonely. He needs a friend. You start browsing rescue sites, picturing adorable cuddle puddles and synchronized grooming sessions. Sound familiar? Well, what if I told you that in your cat's mind, he's not lonely? He's enjoying the view from his throne, and that your well-intentioned plan to get him a friend could actually be the beginning of the feline Hunger Games in your living room. Today, we are smashing one of the biggest myths in the cat world. So, before you bring home a new fluffy roommate, stick around. You and your cat will thank me. First, pop the name of your one and only furry ruler in the comments below. So, to understand why your cat might prefer flying solo, we need to hop in our time machine and go way back. No, not to the 90s, further back. Think ancient deserts. The ancestor of our beloved house panthers is the African wildcat. And let me tell you, this guy was not a team player. He was a solitary, stealthy hunter. His entire existence was built around quietly stalking his next meal, alone. There were no pack meetings, no group texts to coordinate a mouse hunt. It was a one-cat show. This solitary instinct is hardwired into your cat's DNA. While thousands of years of domestication have made them appreciate a good chin scratch and a soft couch, it hasn't completely erased that core programming that says, this territory is mine, these resources are mine, and that weird tall creature who opens cans is also mine. Let's start with the big one, the great cat-parent guilt trip. It's a powerful force, isn't it? We leave for work and they're sitting there, looking all small and alone. We see videos online of cats snuggling, and we think we're depriving our pet of some essential feline experience. Here's the secret. We're applying human logic to a completely different species. Humans are primates, social creatures who thrive in groups. We get lonely. We need friends to chat with, to vent to watch bad movies with. So when we see our cat alone, we project our own feelings of isolation onto them. We put on our human goggles and interpret their quiet, independent nature as sadness. But for a cat, being the sole proprietor of their territory can be the ultimate state of bliss and security. It means they never have to compete for the best sunbeam, the cleanest spot in the litter box, or your undivided attention. It's not loneliness, it's luxury. So the first step is to take off those human goggles and try to see the world through their eyes. So if it's not loneliness, what is going on when they stare out the window? You might call it staring into space, but in the feline world, this is prime-time television. It's cat TV, and it's spectacular. That window is a high-definition screen broadcasting the most exciting reality show imaginable. It's got drama, squirrels stealing from the bird feeder, action, a car driving by, and suspense. Is that neighbour's dog going to come into the yard? Their senses are on high alert. They're tracking movement, listening to distant sounds, and smelling the air coming through the screen. This isn't a sign of a sad, lonely cat pining for a friend. It's the sign of a predator, fully engaged and stimulated by the world outside. They are processing a massive amount of information, running tactical simulations in their tiny little heads. So next time you see them zoned out by the window, don't feel guilty. Just imagine you're hearing a David Attenborough voiceover in your head. And here we see the majestic house cat, observing its domain, utterly captivated. Let's talk about territory. For you, your home is a place to live. For your cat, your home is their entire world. Every single square inch is mapped, scented, and owned. The couch is the southern watchtower. The top of the fridge is the mountain fortress. That warm spot on the rug where the sun hits just right. That's the sacred sunbathing ground. They patrol these borders daily, rubbing their cheeks on everything to say, mine, also mine, definitely mine. Now imagine you, the benevolent ruler of this kingdom, suddenly bring in a total stranger. This isn't a new friend or a roommate. In their eyes, it's an invader, a usurper, a foreign agent sent to disrupt the delicate balance of their empire. This new cat smells weird, walks wrong, and might try to sit in their sacred sunbathing ground. This can trigger immense stress and anxiety because their once safe, predictable world is now a contested war zone. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of their nature. They don't think in terms of friendship, they think in terms of territorial security. How can you tell if your cat is truly a happy solo artist? Look at their body language. A confident, secure cat walks through their home like they own the place. Because in their mind, they do. They'll often have their tail held high, maybe with a little question mark flick at the tip. This is the feline equivalent of a happy, confident strut. They will greet you, weaving between your legs. They'll casually rub their face on corners, furniture, and you, calmly reinforcing their scent and ownership of the space. They sleep out in the open, perhaps belly up on the couch, which is a massive sign of trust and relaxation. A cat who feels threatened or insecure will be more likely to hide, slink around with their body low to the ground, or have their tail tucked. If your cat is confidently patrolling their kingdom with their tail held high, they're not just okay being alone. They are thriving in their role as the undisputed monarch. They are sending a clear message: all is well in my kingdom, and I am its benevolent and glorious ruler. Another huge sign of a happy solo cat is a rock-solid routine. Cats are creatures of habit. They are the most devout followers of a strict, self-imposed schedule you will ever meet. They know precisely when breakfast is, when post-breakfast nap time is, when it's time to watch the birds, when it's time for the afternoon zoomies, and when it's time to scream for dinner 3 hours early. This predictability gives them a profound sense of security. They know what to expect from their day, and it makes them feel safe. Now throw a second cat into the mix. Suddenly, the routine is shattered. Someone else is at the food bowl. Someone else is in their favourite napping spot. The very rhythm of their existence is disrupted. This can be incredibly jarring for a cat that was perfectly content. So if your furry CEO has their daily schedule down to a science and seems utterly content with it, that's a strong indicator that they appreciate the stability and order of their single cat household. They don't need a new vice president of napping. They've got the position covered. Let's talk about resources. In the wild, cats don't share. Access to food, water, and safe places to rest and eliminate is a matter of life and death. Our pampered house cats have the same instinct. In a single cat home, life is good. All the resources are theirs, 100% of the time. There's no competition for the food bowl. There's no line for the litter box. Every cosy bed, every high perch, and, most importantly, every last bit of your attention belongs to them. This is what's known as a resource-rich environment. When you introduce a second cat, you've suddenly cut all those resources in half. Now they have to worry, will there be enough food for me? Is that other cat going to ambush me while I'm using the litter box? This is a huge source of feline stress. Even if you provide multiple food bowls and litter boxes, the very presence of a competitor can create underlying tension. A happy solo cat is one who is secure in the knowledge that all the good stuff is theirs, and they don't have to share. It's not selfish, it's survival instinct. Okay, so maybe your cat isn't lonely, but you're thinking, well, he sure seems bored. And this is a super important distinction to make. Loneliness is a social need for companionship. Boredom is a cognitive need for stimulation. A cat can be utterly thrilled to be the only pet, but still be mind-numbingly bored. And a bored cat is a destructive cat. This is where the real problem often lies. We see our cat sleeping all day or starting to shred the arm of the couch, and we diagnose it as loneliness. We think a friend will solve the problem because they'll entertain each other. But what a bored cat really needs isn't a roommate, it's a better job. Their job is to hunt, play, and engage their minds. If their environment is unstimulating, just a food bowl and a couch, their brilliant predator brain will start to short-circuit. They'll invent their own, often destructive games to pass the time. The solution isn't adding another cat to the mix, it's enriching the environment for the cat you already have. So how can you tell if it's boredom and not a cry for a friend? Look for the signs. A classic is the ankle attack. You're just walking to the kitchen, and suddenly a furry ninja ambushes your feet. This isn't aggression, it's misplaced play instinct. They are hunting, the only moving thing available. Another sign is excessive vocalization, meowing at you constantly, especially if they're not hungry or wanting pets, can be a cry for attention and stimulation. Human, I am bored. Entertain me. Destructive behavior is a big one. Scratching furniture, knocking things off shelves, unrolling the entire toilet paper roll. This is your cat redecorating out of sheer lack of anything better to do. Over-grooming to the point of creating bald spots can also be a sign of stress and boredom. And finally, the classic 3 AM zoomies, or the midnight crazies. That's a burst of pent-up energy that wasn't used during the day. All these signs point to a need for more engagement, not necessarily more cats. The good news is, you are the ultimate cure for your cat's boredom. You are the director of entertainment. The solution is interactive playtime. And no, I don't mean just wiggling a string for 2 minutes. I mean dedicated 10 to 15-minute sessions, twice a day, that simulate a hunt. Use a feather wand toy and make it act like prey. Let it flutter like a bird. Hide behind furniture like a mouse. Let your cat stalk, chase, and finally kill the toy. This is incredibly satisfying for their predator brain. Another amazing tool is a puzzle feeder. Instead of just dumping food in a bowl, make them work for it. This engages their problem-solving skills and mimics the challenge of foraging for food. You can also try clicker training. Yes, you can train a cat. Teaching them simple tricks like high five or sit is amazing mental stimulation. By becoming your cat's primary source of fun and engagement, you're not just curing their boredom, you're also strengthening your bond in a massive way. Now let's talk about the danger zone. This is what can happen when you ignore the signs and force a friendship. You bring the new cat home, maybe you just open the carrier and hope for the best. And what you get is not a cute cuddle puddle. You get the feline thunderdome, hissing, spitting, growling, swatting that sounds like a whip cracking, chases through the house that end in terrified cats hiding under beds for days. This isn't just a brief, getting to know you phase. This is a declaration of war. One or both cats can become so stressed that they start spraying urine around the house to mark their territory and scream their anxiety to the world. They might refuse to eat or use the litter box properly. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They are signs of profound distress. A bad introduction can create a pattern of aggression and fear that can be incredibly difficult and sometimes impossible to reverse. You thought you were solving a problem, but you may have just created a much bigger, smellier one. Beyond the obvious hissing and fighting, there's an invisible threat: chronic stress. Even if your cats aren't actively fighting, they might be living in a state of constant low-grade anxiety. One cat might be resource guarding, silently intimidating the other cat away from the food bowl or the litter box. You might not even notice it. It can be as subtle as a hard stare. This constant tension is terrible for their health. Chronic stress in cats can suppress their immune system, making them more susceptible to illness. It's a known contributor to serious conditions like feline idiopathic cystitis or FIC, which is a painful bladder inflammation. It can lead to stress-induced overgrooming, where they lick themselves raw. They might become withdrawn, stop playing, and just hide all day. This is the danger we're talking about. It's not just the drama of a cat fight. It's the silent, long-term damage to their physical and mental well-being when they are forced to live with a perceived enemy. Now let's be fair. Are there exceptions to this rule? Absolutely. I'm not saying no cat ever needs a friend. There is a personality type we could call the social butterfly. These are the cats that genuinely seem to crave feline companionship. They might have been raised in a litter and never really learned to be alone. They might be exceptionally playful and high energy, and you just can't keep up with their demands for playtime. A key sign of a truly lonely cat is one that continues to seem lethargic, withdrawn, or even depressed despite all your best efforts at enrichment and playtime. They might try to groom you excessively, as if seeking out a feline companion. These cats are often younger, more adaptable, and have a laid-back, confident personality that isn't easily threatened. If you have a cat like this, then considering a carefully chosen friend might be the right move. But notice all the qualifiers. Might be carefully chosen. It's still not a simple plug-and-play solution. The absolute golden ticket scenario for getting 2 cats is getting 2 kittens from the same litter. This is by far the easiest path to a multi-cat household. They already have an established bond. They speak the same language. They have compatible energy levels. They can wrestle and chase each other to their heart's content, which means they're less likely to use your ankles for wrestling practice. They teach each other important social skills, like bite inhibition, learning how hard is too hard when playing. It's a beautiful thing to watch. This also works well for adopting a bonded adult pair from a shelter. These are 2 cats who have already proven they get along and find comfort in each other's presence. By adopting them together, you're preserving that crucial bond. In these cases, you're not forcing a friendship, you're honouring an existing one. It's a completely different situation from bringing a stranger into a single cat's established kingdom. If you've weighed all the pros and cons and decided your social cat really would benefit from a friend, your work has just begun. You can't just go to a shelter and pick the cutest one. You need to become a feline matchmaker. Personality and energy levels are everything. Do you have a calm, senior cat who just wants to nap in the sun? Bringing home a hyperactive 4-month-old kitten is a recipe for pure misery for your older cat. It's the equivalent of forcing a retiree to live with a screaming toddler who's just had 3 espressos. You need to look for a cat with a similar energy level and temperament. If your cat is playful, look for a playful companion. If your cat is shy and gentle, look for another gentle soul. Most good shelters and rescues are fantastic at personality profiling their cats and can help you find a suitable match. Don't choose based on colour or looks. Choose based on compatibility. It's also worth noting that some breeds are, generally speaking, more predisposed to being social than others. This isn't a hard and fast rule, as every cat is an individual, but genetics can play a role. Breeds like the Siamese, Ragdoll, Burmese and Tonkinese were often bred to be more people-oriented and can be more accepting of other pets in the house. They often thrive on interaction. On the other end of the spectrum, some breeds might be more independent and territorial, preferring to be the only star of the show. The point isn't to run out and get a specific breed. The point is to do your research. If you have a specific breed, read up on their typical personality traits. Understanding their background can give you clues about whether they're more likely to welcome a friend or tell them to get off their lawn. Remember though, individual personality always trumps breed stereotypes. Always. Before you make the leap, we need to have a little chat about the practical side of things. Let's talk about money and time. A second cat isn't just a one-time adoption fee, it's doubling down on everything. That means double the food costs, double the litter, and most significantly, double the potential vet bills. That's twice the annual checkups, twice the vaccinations, and twice the risk of an expensive emergency or chronic illness down the line. Are you financially prepared for that? It's also a bigger time commitment. You'll need to spend quality, one-on-one time with each cat to maintain your individual bonds with them. And the initial introduction process, if done correctly, is a slow, time-consuming effort that can take weeks or even months of careful management. It's a serious commitment, not a quick fix for a problem that might not even exist. Be honest with yourself about whether you have the resources, time, money, and emotional energy to properly care for another living creature for the next 15 to 20 years. So let's circle back to that bored cat. If you've decided against a second cat, how can you upgrade your solo cat's life from economy to first class? The magic word is enrichment. You need to make their environment more interesting. Think vertically. Cats love to climb. Cat trees, wall-mounted shelves and window perches give them new vantage points to survey their kingdom from. It expands their territory without expanding the square footage of your home. Scent enrichment is another great tool. Bring in interesting smells from the outside world on a leaf or a branch. Make sure it's non-toxic. Catnip or silver vine can provide a fun, stimulating experience. And don't underestimate the power of a simple cardboard box. It's a fort, a hiding place, a perfect ambush spot. By constantly adding new and interesting things to their environment, you keep their clever minds engaged and satisfied. A stimulated cat is a happy cat, whether they have a sibling or not. Here's another great tip for enriching your solo cat's world. Bring the outdoors in safely. Setting up a bird feeder or a bird bath outside a main window can provide hours of entertainment. It's the ultimate live-action cat TV. Your cat gets all the mental stimulation of watching prey without any of the danger. You can also find amazing cat-specific videos on YouTube. Long clips of birds, squirrels and mice that can keep them captivated. Just be sure your TV is secure. Another idea is a catio, a safe, enclosed outdoor patio. This allows them to experience the sights, sounds and smells of the outdoors without the risks of cars, predators or getting lost. Even if you just open a securely screened window for them to sniff the breeze, you are drastically expanding their sensory world and preventing the boredom that we so often mistake for loneliness. It's about quality of environment, not quantity of cats. Finally, after all this, the most important question isn't just, is my cat lonely? But am I ready for this? Are you ready for the work? A proper cat introduction is a masterclass in patience. It involves keeping the cats completely separate for days or weeks, slowly introducing them through scent swapping, then brief visual contact through a screen or a baby gate, and eventually short, supervised interactions. It requires you to become a student of cat body language, to know when to push forward and when to take a step back. Are you prepared to potentially manage conflict for the rest of their lives, to feed them in separate rooms, to provide double the litter boxes and clean them constantly? Sometimes our desire for another cat is more about us than it is about them. It's okay to want another cat. But it's crucial to be honest about whether you're doing it for the right reasons and if you have the capacity to make it a success for everyone involved, especially the furry residents who have no say in the matter. So there you have it. The truth is, many cats are not just surviving as solo pets, they are thriving. They are the confident, happy kings and queens of their castles, and adding a new court jester can throw the entire kingdom into chaos. Before you assume your cat's quiet contemplation is a sign of loneliness, first try to rule out boredom. Amp up the playtime, enrich their environment, and become their favourite source of entertainment. You'll likely discover a happier, more engaged cat, and a stronger bond between the two of you. And remember, providing a secure, stable and loving home for one cat is a far greater gift than providing a stressful, chaotic home for two. At the end of the day, despite their mysterious ways and their talent for knocking things off tables, we love these little weirdos more than anything. Understanding what they truly need is the best way to show that love. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more feline facts, and share it with a friend who's been thinking about getting a second cat. Final question for you. What's the funniest thing your solo cat does to entertain themselves? Let's share some stories in the comments. Thanks for watching and give your cat a pet from me. Bye!